Welcome to the Self Reality Podcast, where we like to talk about all the best and worst reality TV shows. Today, we're here to talk Survivor. I'm your host, Angie, and today we have a very special guest, my brother, Nick Hanlon. Welcome,
Uh,
Nick.
Hello.
I
Look
forgot
at
that's what
us
you're into.
all virtual.
Well, we couldn't get together this week, and this is a big one, so I didn't want to just be recapping by myself. It's much more fun to have a conversation, as you
I'm either
say.
sick or quitting smoking. I'm not sure. So probably this is better this week.
Yeah, just be safe. And we got the big finale next week, but we're testing this out. So like, let's hope I'm hoping it works, but it actually, it
Sounds
feels like
good to
you're here.
me.
Sounds good. So let's get right into it. This was a big, big, big episode.
Before we get into
Bef
it,
yeah.
like and subscribe Angie's podcast. What is it called again? I keep forgetting.
When my sign's up, you won't be able to forget self-reality.
Self reality, like and subscribe. Kayfabe Wrestling Talk by handsome Nick Hanlon, my twin brother. Like and subscribe. And if you want to get drunk with me, I have a Dirty Glass podcast where we drink on it. Like and subscribe, all that stuff.
So let's get into it. Okay, so as we all know, because you watch
First of
every
all,
episode.
I
Yeah.
had a survivor dream.
Oh,
Well,
do
not really a survivor dream. It was
do
like
share.
I was trying to get through airport security, and I was for some reason wearing a belt, and it was a chain belt, and what held together the belt was like a lock, a lock that you put on
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
like a padlock.
unclicks.
Pad.
Yeah, padlock.
Yeah, yeah.
And the padlock for some reason was made out of material that you can make guns with. But the TSA agent was teeny, and she was giving me a real hard time. And now that I
Well,
see her, she seems like a TSA agent. I'll tell you what. It's so clear that stream. It was so weird. But Teeny was the
I
TSA
mean,
agent.
I could see that. I thought though, as a TSA
She's little
agent,
and bossy.
she is kind of bossy. She's becoming bossy. I have some thoughts about Teeny on this episode actually. So excellent segue.
Anyway, let's get into
No,
it.
that I mean, let's get into it. But
What
excellent.
happens when you watch so much Survivor for 25 years, 20 years, however long?
Well, and
They,
for
they
me,
seep into your subconscious.
they seep into your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, part of the whole thing is like I'm like taking notes. Like I used to just kind of watch it and I'd sit on my phone or I'd play like little Farm Hero games or whatever the hell. And now I'm
Now you're
watching it.
focused.
Yeah, and now I'm hyper focused. Like I know all the names. So this will be the first season since season one that I remember all the names. Actually, I don't even remember all the names from season one. I know Richard, Sue, Rudy,
Rudy.
end of list.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Remember
It's a
we
long
tried to
time ago.
name 10. Remember at the start. Anyway, we're distracted because it's a new format. But let's talk about the aftermath. Let's talk about so Caroline,
The
complete
aftermath is great.
amazing, spectacular effing blindside. I mean, ooh, that was a good blindside. They had no idea it was smugorama happening, and bam, faces
And
like
just to catch me up, this is the Blind Side
from last
Operation
week.
Italy.
Operation, that's right. So Operation Italy went off without a hitch. Kudos to Andy, Sam, and who was it? Andy, Sam, oh, and Jen.
Genevieve,
I mean,
right?
kudos, kudos. I mean,
One of the best moves in Survivor history. Simple.
again, like I'm still in awe. Like, I mean, this episode's good, but it doesn't. Nothing still holds a candle to last week's Blindside. The acting, the pieces, everything that could have fallen apart, amazing. So Caroline's voted out. So aftermath. Okay, so of course. Our friend Sue, the 75-year-old, as Nick says, 59, 45, however how old she is, she's upset Caroline's gone, but I will credit her with not flipping out.
She's been able to hold her temper a lot. I thought she was going to flip out this season many times.
I think she
So
just does it on the interviews.
kudos. Yeah.
Kudos to the boomer, right?
I mean,
She's
I'd
kept
like
her.
to see a little more flip outs, I think, but I mean, she's playing it smart if you want to win the money.
This is why I miss Gen X. Gen X, we've said this before. I will say it again. You take food and sleep away from Gen X, we're gonna flip
No,
out.
no
I mean,
bueno.
no bueno. All right, Andy is like just on top of the world. He He planned the whole scheme. Like he put this
Yeah.
all together and it was brilliant.
Which now shows how dangerous he is, which will come up later. But anywho, let's talk
Yeah.
about the
So,
aftermath.
Teeny. Okay.
Flip
Nick,
flop, flip flop.
do you find it interesting that they told her this weird convoluted story? Oh, we were gonna vote and we didn't realize they voted, and then the voting, the votes, and then they used a thing, and I didn't know, it was confusing, and she bought it. They
Yeah.
told the most convoluted, crappy, lying story about, oh, it was just an accident. It was just, it was just happenstance. We didn't know, and the plan just fell apart. No.
She's just trying to survive.
And she bought it,
Yeah.
but figures it out later, and it's fun. It's fun
She
when she
clings
figures
on. But the best part of the aftermath is Rachel
it.
climbing through the dirt into the bushes.
My feet
Come
are
on.
going up and down.
Like
Boss move, lady. Boss
that
move,
was
my favorite.
crazy.
And not getting caught. So many, many times we have seen folks. Remember Tony? Like I think he was a police officer or something, and he won.
Yeah, he
He
remember he
did.
found all the idols. They made it harder after him. You notice after that season, but
That's
yeah,
true. And then he would hide. Remember, he would hide in the bush. Like he would literally hide and listen in and do like stealth missions and shit like that. Whereas like Rachel, to her credit, it was just sort of happenstance. She stumbled. Well, no, she kind
no,
of
she
heard
knew they all
talking.
went.
That's
She
right.
knew they all went. And she's
That's
like,
right. That's right. I was
and she's
wrong.
like, remember she mentioned, I don't know if you guys realize how dark it is here. You don't see that when
Right.
you're at home because you see the
The red
camera's
light.
black light or whatever it is, and it's pitch dark, and she's laying under a bush of dirt because she could just hear voices.
But she heard the whole conversation, and
Yeah,
holy crap. The only thing I thought was a little concerning is she heard them still say that Genevieve has that idol, which is fake, because Teeny's still buying that it's real, which will come this whole episode. Actually, it is a good one because it all leads up to this, right?
yeah.
So this one's exciting. I love machinations. I love like scheming and planning and whatever, and like the aftermath of it. Like, oh, it's so good. So then, yeah, so nobody knows that. Okay, so nobody knows Rachel has the idol, and I have to say, Rachel tells Sue.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
just that's in my notes. She tells Sue, but Sue doesn't tell her she's got an idol.
which I thought was an interesting play. I think it's a smart play. I
Hell
think
yeah,
that was a very smart Sue. She's better than like, so we always said like Sue, Teeny, and who's the third musketeer who
we used to
sucks.
say Andy.
Did we say Andy? Yeah, you're right. We did used to say Andy, but then Andy has come up, and I will
I
say
mean, he's tricked
Sue,
many people.
he did an excellent job. I think Sue is coming up and doing a good job. So she doesn't tell Rachel, but then
She's just a little more subtle.
she is. Again, I guess she's not hungry enough. It's like I'd be
She's talking. She's talking to people, like, and she's talking strategy. Like Teeny doesn't know
Teeny
how to
just
do
runs
that.
around like gets told what to do, buys
Klingon.
everything, and then it's a disaster, and then gets upset about it, which I
Yeah,
just I don't have I don't like that.
pure Klingon.
Pure Klingon. So Rachel tells her, Sue doesn't tell her, but I think that sort of telling her, because she had told her about the block of vote, if you remember, and showed it to her, and that really made Sue's loyal. I
Mhm.
respect, I have to give Sue some credit for loyalty and knowing when to keep her mouth shut.
Hey, it's kept her in.
Excellent. Like excellent. And there's some gameplay there, but her gameplay has been more loyal. So if we have a really angry jury and she makes it, she
People
could have
like
a
her.
chance
Yeah, people like her.
because she's loyal. Like she was with Caroline, she stood by her, she stood by
And
Gabe, and
plus, once
now
she tells everybody she's 60, that's gonna get her. That's gonna give her points.
it
The
will.
last person to make it that age is Rudy.
Get out of
There's
here.
never. I don't. I mean, somebody look up some Survivor canon,
Yeah.
if you will. But I'm pretty sure the oldest person to make it this far
Wow.
is her since Rudy.
And so we didn't mention this, but this is like a double, I was going to say eviction. It's not Big Brother, a double immunity, a double
Double
tribal.
episode, technically.
Yeah,
Two 1 hour episodes, two
basically.
tribals.
So we're at the immunity number one. Let's see. Leap in an ocean. You got to swim
Yeah.
to a platform. There's a buoy attached to rope, and you got to kind of manage it through, like, I don't know, whatever. and then you got to
Yeah.
solve a puzzle. I love
Yeah.
puzzles.
Obstacle course with a puzzle.
This is tradition. Obstacle
Obstacle course with a puzzle.
This is tradition. Obstacle
Mhm.
course puzzle at the end. It was close.
And
Genevieve wins.
Rachel was acting real smug. Ooh, I like these types of puzzles.
Well, but to her credit, she kicks herself. Like she really beats herself up though when she
Mhm.
doesn't win it. I relate to her. I would be this. I'd be like, I'm good at puzzles, and then if I lost, I would just kick the shit out of myself. She was a little too smug, but she's still my pick. Just like Sam, Nick, our picks are still in right now. Our picks are both still
Genevieve,
in.
Genevieve was like Rain Man on that puzzle, though.
Oh,
It's
I
like she
know.
made no mistakes. As soon as she got there, she was putting pieces in. I don't
Even
think
Jeff,
Teeny got one in.
I don't think so either. And even Jeff said he's never seen a puzzle like that completed so quickly. So Jen was just like on fire. Plus, there's a reward. So it was a sanctuary. So
Oh
Jen
yes,
wins. Jen,
this is
drunky
this is one
drunk
of those.
time.
This is one of those loose lip sync ship situations.
Well, I know, and I love a drunk one. So Jen decides to take Sue and Teeny. Good choice or bad? What do you think? Would you have made that same choice?
I don't know if I would have taken Teeny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Sue's smart to try and get
sway
her on her
her.
side.
I
I mean,
think
and Sam was like, "My guts are out of me, so don't take me." I don't know if that was strategic on his part or not. Um, I
I
guess who else could she take? I mean, that was yeah. I guess it's smart,
I think Teeny was a good choice because she was so furious last time. Like
and she would have just been bashing her the whole
yeah,
time at the camp.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
So I actually think in that regard, that was probably a good choice. Plus, Teeny, there's booze at this one, so Teeny, she's gonna get drunk and say stupid shit. So she finds it, but then she actually, with her yammering, with her drunken babble, helps Jen out by telling Sue about the fake idol, but still saying it's real. So it
Mm.
actually helps Genevieve. So I'm just gonna flip back to camp because that's the most interesting thing. Gets drunk, blah blah blah, whatever, yada yada. Go back to camp. I didn't realize Rachel, Andy, and Sam are there chatting. They're all Gata. I mean, Gata
Yeah,
for a
they
tribe
kind of
that
won.
they kind of kicked ass, man. I just realized that when they sat there. Originally I was like, Sam's an amazing actor, but I got to tell you, Rachel
Rachel did a great job.
equally, if not better.
She's so depressed that she's going home tomorrow.
She has the idol. No one knows except Sue about the idol.
Mm.
And I mean, I was a little nervous Sue might flip on her, but she didn't. And I should have known because Sue's been consistently loyal and it's best for her. But I'm like, her acting on how sad she is, and I know I'm going home. Okay, let's talk about ourselves for a second because it's self reality, right? Could you do that?
Um, I think I could.
I don't know. Like, I'd have to take like acting lessons or something before I went, or some sort of improv so that I'm able to not have my face actually belie what I think. But
Yeah, I work sales.
true. I don't. I have
You
to
got to be
act a
able to
lot at
switch
work
character.
though. Yeah,
True.
yeah, yeah.
I don't. I think I could. I think I could trick them.
Because
I don't know.
I don't know if
But
I
she's good. I don't know if I could do as good as her, but I think
like
I could do it
she had a
close.
tear, like she had a tear in her eye. I was like, holy shit.
Well,
So
because they were talking real emotions too, though.
yeah, true. It's true. But she switched it, but she did on the fly. This is why she's such an excellent, iconic Survivor player. She switched it on the fly. Like she was able to kind of transition from, okay, well, it is sad. We've been together and both like whatever brought up that tear, because she had a real tear. Um, and then suddenly, like it was amazing.
I mean, we're almost right into tribal now, and she tricks Jeff during tribal. It seemed
Oh, I
like Jeff was
know.
like doing the. So how do you feel about being here? Like giving him the before you're getting voted out questions,
Yep.
and even the before you're getting voted out question music was on and stuff. Now, obviously, they knew what was going to
True.
happen, the editors and stuff, but I don't know if Jeff knew because he seemed like maybe he was just playing into her. I don't know. But I guess that's just what you do. You play what's happening, and he was playing on what was happening. And I don't know if he knew she had one. Probably did. Maybe not. I don't know. But it seemed
I,
like he was tricked. It was ingenious.
I mean, if he wasn't tricked, his acting is
He's also
also,
a good actor.
yeah, top notch. I mean, we have a lot of, I haven't seen lying to this level of this many folks in a good many years. Like it's excellent. It's just like they're on point and it's not showing. The only one who signed sort of was wavering sometimes was Andy. But let's talk for a second before we get to tribal. Let's talk about the Andy Rachel conversation because I think that was a pivotal conversation. Just Andy and Rachel. Andy, as everyone else did, I'm voting you out, you're a threat, yada yada. And then proceeds to tell her everything he's done and why he's underestimated. And he essentially signs his own death contract from the
Yeah,
game.
she was voting Sam because really who
Yes.
chose was her and Sue,
Yep.
right? Because nobody knew. So
Yep.
her and Sue choose who's going home.
Yep.
And I mean, at first it was like Sam's gone,
Yep.
but then yeah, Andy, he goes in there like a job interview because he thinks he's doing
He's doing jury
jury
management.
management
Hmm?
and even kind of letting out some extra of Plan Italy or whatever, Operation Italy. He signed his death warrant
He did. It
and
was
and saved Sam again.
right. We were texting that when we were watching it. I'm like, he saved Sam. I mean, it was crazy because I'm watching it going, holy shit. But I think he just can't contain himself. I think that's where he wavers, is that he's unable to kind of contain that. I did this because he really does. I think Andy really does respect Rachel. I think he wants her. I still think at his core, he wants that approval from others, and he wants Rachel's particularly. Hi, Brucey, did you like that
Brucey,
episode?
he loved that.
Oh, it was so good.
But I think he legitimately thought Rachel was going home too.
Oh, he did, absolutely. But that's where he was fooled. So back to tribal, you're right. It was basically like, yeah, Rachel's going home, Rachel's going home, Rachel's going home, Rachel's going home. Even Jeff, Rachel's going home. And when she pulls out that idol,
Let's talk about the quote.
oh, there was a quote. Did I miss the
The
quote?
only thing better than going to your own funeral is going knowing you're going to wake up the next day.
I have
And then she played the
goosebumps.
idol. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, and she acted sad right to the end.
Yeah. And then just,
She did not
hello,
waver.
look what I
And
got.
I don't know if it's editing, but they even like it was so look at how cute he is. It took so long for her to pull that idol out. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And then bam.
It seemed like she waited as long as she could. I don't, editing, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was.
So,
And then the
ugh,
jury's like, everybody's like, oh my God. And then Sam looking worried because he
yeah.
thought he was, next
Because he was the next one in
for a
line.
while.
And essentially all of them sat down and told her she's the biggest threat and you're gone. So they all said
Mhm.
they're going to vote for her, but Sue, the only one not worried was Sue.
Oh, yeah.
Sue had no worries. Everyone else spectacular. I mean, just, as Teeny says, chef's kiss, as they all now say, right? Like it's just I've never seen someone be able to hold that in and wait until the very end ever. Like to that extent, that was spectacular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy gets voted out.
Andy's gone.
Bye.
Uh, you know, he
His,
he he did it to himself. You
his
gotta
maniacal laughter at the after speech was
I,
on brand, let's say.
I think so. So I'm impressed that Sue remained loyal and didn't call it Rachel because it's so many of these folks really do flip flop. I think Sam was shitting his pants, and Andy had no idea. And I think Andy will respect that game. I really do. Like if
I'll tell
Rachel
you
takes
right
it to
now,
him.
Andy will probably be on the All Star.
He should. I mean, he because he's just volatile enough and crazy enough and like flip
But he
floppy
had a lot of
enough.
good plans. He tricked people
No, but
many
that
times.
I know, but add in his flip floppy.
Well, the
Like if they do
drama. Yeah.
the drama, I still think Kyle will make it to the All Stars too. I actually from this season, I think it'll be Kyle and Andy.
I mean, there's
I
several this season that could make it. I mean, Rachel could make it.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I know
you're
it'll
not
probably
wrong.
just be one or two, maybe two. I don't know how many they'll get from this season, but if you think about it, Andy, Sam, and Rachel, and even Genevieve,
Yeah,
or if they
exactly.
want to,
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I mean, she's played a pretty genius game too. But bye,
I
Andy.
mean, I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about it in the next
Well, look
in
how
this
far
next
she's.
portion.
Yeah,
She's
she's.
made it far, but let's talk about it in the next piece because there's a lot of it's very Jen heavy. This next piece, Jen and Rachel heavy. During this tribal, Teeny actually trying to manage the jury says, "Oh, the Caroline vote was an accident," and yada yada yada, and I'm like, "That's bullshit." Rachel calls it out and says that Andy flipped. Like that was not an accident at all. Caroline getting voted out. That was Andy flipping.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that Teeny, I don't know if she's managing the jury or just dumb till the end, but I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, Rachel's like, well, let's just talk straight. Andy flipped and they voted her out. I mean, that's what
Exactly.
happened. But I mean, it's deeper than that. They
Yeah.
tricked everybody, and
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
did.
once they rewatch it, they'll see what happened. But that is what happened. If you want to put it down to brass tacks,
But yeah, calling it an accidental vote out of Caroline, I think takes away from the immense amount of strategy that was at play here. So
you
I
know.
think that's kind of my point, right? Okay, so let's move on.
Well, when they went back to camp, it just turned into the
Oh yeah,
Rachel and Genevieve show.
which I found obnoxious.
Yeah,
I found that a little, and even though I'm not a fan of Teeny because I think she's terrible and I think she's as a player, I think as a person she's fine, but as a player, I don't think she's really cognizant of just what a bad strategist she is. Like that she's not a strong player. But saying that it's basically between them, I think that's a bad move.
yeah. I would keep maybe talk alone about that, not just
Like not
openly,
yeah, not like oh, it's just between us now, right?
because there's still three votes
and
against
it,
one of you.
and it bothered them all, to be fair, and it would have bothered me. I'd be like, really? Even
There's other people
Teeny, like
here.
there's like five of us people. So it's the whole
Although
genre.
TD was very confident in thinking that she could win at the end. She gets to the end, she's got 0 votes.
I find that, yeah, yeah, it's odd to me, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's from all the participation, like ribbons that went out or something. Everyone's special. I don't know, or is great. You're not like I'm almost curious to see what her argument's going to be. Like her only argument to me at the end for Teeny would be I'm personable and I get along with people. Like I made good connections. That would be the only argument.
That's all
I
she's got.
I don't see anything else, but I'm curious to see what she thinks she has. I didn't like Sam going through Rachel's bag. I get it, but I wasn't a big fan of that.
That's not the first time they've gone through Andy's bag.
Okay, true. Sue's still keeping her mouth shut about her idol. Smart move, Sue. And then I don't like when people follow people around. So Jen's following Rachel around. Like she doesn't like it, but it's kind of like it's I
I
don't
mean,
know.
what are you going to do if she finds it?
Yeah, yeah, fair enough, but I don't know.
But
It's
even her
still
following
no.
her, she finds it. She finds it. It doesn't matter if it's a secret or not.
Don't you find it icky? Like I think if I was in that position, I would find it icky on both sides. I would find it icky to be followed around, and I would find it icky to follow someone around. But
It's awkward.
I get the point, and even Jen, to her credit, said it was awkward. So challenge two. So I think that's it, right? It's pretty brief. I actually wrote a note here. I don't think Jen's that good. Like I don't understand her like elevating herself above and beyond everybody. I think they're really underestimating Sam to a degree as well. I think Teeny's not super strong in terms of strategy. I think Sue's
I think Sam
actually,
could win it.
so do I. I don't like that. And Jen had that one big move at the start. Like, what else has she really done?
Mm,
Like, I just,
it's true.
I think it's overinflated. Like her strategic play. I think it's over. That's my opinion. Feel free in the comments to let me know if you disagree. I think Jen's is overinflated. I think she had that one big plan that was a good plan. However, everyone found out about it. So not that good.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
What
we
else
should
has
be
she
going
done?
for her though. She is Canadian.
I know Winnipeg. I
Yeah,
mean, Jesus Christ. So challenge two was an interesting one.
it's a very frustrating challenge.
I would have probably had like a nervous breakdown. So they have to race. They make them race. First of all, they make them race from the water up the hill for no reason through the sand because I guess the obstacle get under the sand.
It's all about getting their heart pumping so they're more
Yeah.
panicky.
Then they need to stack those balls with the little stands like one by one by
Yeah,
one by one. on a wobbly beam, and holy crap, it felt like it took a long time. Like it
They have to
felt
stand
like,
on a thing with a spring under
yeah,
it.
and it was really, really super duper wobbly. That was again Jen versus Rachel, and drum roll,
Who won this? Rachel won this one?
Rachel.
That's
She
right.
had to. Rachel doesn't win. Rachel goes home.
Yeah, and she
Rachel,
barely wins.
she wins at this by the skin of her teeth.
Yeah.
Um, so now Sam's going to turn on Jen, which makes sense, right? Uh,
Well, he's the
and
only
he,
one that knows it's fake, right? That
yeah, because
idol's fake.
everyone's right. Thank you for
And
backing
everybody's
me up.
gunning for Sam.
Yep.
And he's like, if I don't mention this, I'm gone.
Well, and I was annoyed
Which
about.
is
I'm
true.
annoyed about it. It was. Oh no, I'm glad Sam did that. I'm super
I'm glad he
glad. But
held on to that information.
till the very end. But let's talk about Teeny's meltdown. Teeny finally, 3 days before the last day, what, like, 26, realizes what has been happening and all
Mhm.
the lies. And then she spins out of control. And I think if I was in that position, the same thing would happen. And I would struggle with what's true and what's not, because she has fallen for every
Everything.
single lie that they've ever told her in the whole season. And I actually felt for her, because then it was like, oh my God, Jen did this and told me that, and said, like, she finally, like, the penny dropped. The penny dropped. And then she just doesn't know what to do. Um, Jen, and then it's crazy because Jen admits to her it's fake when she calls her out on it, and then she doesn't even know if she can believe it because there's been so many lies told.
Mhm.
What would you do in that situation if you realize suddenly, like, so many lies have been told to you? Like, how would do you think you would react?
I don't know if I would have spun out of control, but when I asked her about the idol, I definitely would have told people, which she did.
But that almost made it worse in her mind, and it was wild.
She's just, I don't know, she's just too innocent or young or not
She's
as
20,
jaded as maybe I don't know.
she's 23. And as you
The
said,
thing is,
like,
I
at
don't
this,
think I would have been fooled as many times as her.
yeah, I don't think I would have been either. But you
But
never know. But you never know. I
there's some good
also,
liars this season.
yeah, it's true. Because, like, and I have a desire to trust people. Like, if these are people I had, where I will sort of understand where Teeny's coming from, is if I was on a show where I was living, just like surviving out in a Fijian island, and I was making connections because that's the kind of person I am, I'd want to believe people. But I also would like to hope I would have some sort of gut instinct on certain things.
A little bit.
And I think she doesn't have that, or she doesn't
No.
trust it enough. She's 23, though. Did you trust yours at 23?
I mean, the life I lived, I didn't trust that many people at
That's
23,
true.
to be honest.
Yeah, that's
It's just life experience, right? If you're just
yeah,
like in this group of friends and everybody's happy, what if
yeah.
you get,
Which is, yeah,
what if you're somebody that's in a situation where you get robbed a few times and people screwed you over? It's all about life experience, right?
that's
So
true.
she probably never went through any of that stuff
She
and
trusts
just
people.
normally trusts everybody, and it
Gen
probably
Z,
works out for her.
except on Survivor. That's why they
Just
took
not the
us Gen
place.
Xers out, because we're more jaded. I, I
Totally.
I think Gen X, like, just because of and it's not millennials' fault, it's not Gen Z's fault, but it was a rougher friggin' time.
The 80s were tough. The
The
90s were
80s and the
mean.
90s were just mean. And when I told another Gen Xer that, because they never heard that, they're like, "What did you say?" I go, "The mean 90s." And they were.
Mhm.
They were friggin' mean, and they were rough, and they left a mark.
Mhm.
They left a
It's the
goddamn mark.
thing. It's a different
Um,
different life.
yeah, so I think they bring something more positive and more uplifting and more trusting and inclusive to the world. But I do think there needs to be a balance out for everybody. That's
Mhm.
kind of my thoughts on that. So tribal council. So it was another showdown. Teeny kind of calls out the belief that Jen has the idol, but says Sam told her it's fake. And then basically Sam's like, if you don't believe her, vote for her, put her name down. So I don't, again, editing or
There's a
what?
lot of people that have been trying to get Genevieve out for a while. So them
Exactly.
finding out that really threw a wrench into the Sam vote out plan.
I
Luckily
agree.
for Sam. So Teeny saved Sam.
Hmm.
Well, I guess Sam saved Sam
Well,
from letting the information
Teeny
out, but then
Teeny
Teeny went around and
didn't,
told everybody.
except Teeny doesn't save Sam because she, in the end, votes
Oh, is
for
she the
Sam.
Sam vote? I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that.
Sue plays her idol, which is shocking to everyone, but she's not in
The
any
last time
risk.
she can do it.
And then Andy's shocked at the idol though, so I think that won her some points over on the jury. But then in the end, it's 3-2 because I thought it was going to be Sam. I thought like Teeny was it was Sam. So 3-2. The votes went Teeny, and I was shocked because I watched the end. Teeny voted for Sam, and of course Jen voted for Sam, and the rest voted for Jen. And Jen finally gets voted out. So just to finalize, Jen gets voted out 3-2. Uh,
We have a final four.
we have a final four. So we've got Teeny, Sue, Rachel, and Sam. Nick, has it ever happened? So just for all of our viewers, for many years, over 10 years, so 15 years probably, we've been picking a pick. We've been making a pick every year, all of us.
Mhm.
Me, Nick, and Dad. And then once Dad passed away, it was just me and Nick. I think this is the first time like two
I've never picked
picks
the final four.
made it
I
to the
don't think
final
I picked
four.
one. I
I
don't think
picked
we've ever
one.
picked one. Oh, you
I
did?
did. I won, and you guys didn't want to talk about it. Tyson.
Okay, all right.
And
Because
Dad
Dad
was
used to
like,
always pick the person that got voted out like first.
I know.
I remember him doing like 5 picks one year because every single episode he picked somebody that got voted out.
We'd be like, okay, Dad, you can pick another. You can pick another. But I picked the winner one year, and I was so excited. And you guys were just like, didn't even want to talk about it. And I was like, because it wasn't even for money. It was just for like
Bragging.
the bragging. And I didn't get to brag because you guys just shat on it. I was like, what the hell? It was a different time. It was a different time. You're in your 30s still, Nick. So was I, actually, for Christ's sake. Okay, so let's score that episode. What do you think and why? Out of 5.
That's the best episode of the year
Oh, okay.
between this one and last one. 4, 5 still. It was as good as the last one. I don't know.
You
Like
gave
it's
the
good.
last one a 4.8. So
Oh,
that's
well,
yeah,
this
that's
this one's a 4, 5, 6,
yeah.
4, 6. It's close.
And what did you like about this one?
I mean, there's just lots of aha moments. A lot of the aftermath was great. The ripple effect, the Rachel winning the immunity. I
Oh,
mean, you couldn't have written it any better because she'd be gone. And
for
then
sure.
Genevieve getting outed. I mean, there was just a lot of outings and things that happened to make what happened happen. And it was kind of like a storybook. If you're a Rachel fan, a storybook episode. What happens next? I don't know. Who are they going to get to make fight? Well, what's your score?
So yeah, before we get into that, because I want to talk about what our thoughts are on the finale. I give it just point 0.1 below last week at 4.7.
Mhm.
Uh, only because it's only less than last week because of the blind side.
Yeah, the blind
Although
side was amazing.
the Rachel, I mean, oh, it's all okay. I'm still gonna give it a 4.7. I think the blind side and sort of the plan last week bumps it up by point 0.1, but
I
amazing,
mean, Rachel
amazing.
having immunity in that one episode in the first
Yeah,
tribal was definitely bumps it up. If we're
that
talking about the whole thing, for sure.
well, that's why I'm giving it a 4.7 and not like a 4.5 or something, because like the whole Rachel thing was amazing. Last
Yeah,
week, still like Operation Italy, spectacular. I mean, the best. You're right. I think you're right. It's the best executed plan we've ever seen. What do you give
I
it,
give it a
Brucey?
5. I give it a 5.
I love
I
everything.
like it.
Fix
I
his
eat
ear.
drink it. Yay!
He's so cute.
Dad's home.
He's just a little old man. Uh, so you're a 4.6. I'm a four
Yeah.
seven. Excellent. I mean, Survivor, all these cutthroat people, you're crushing it. So let's talk finale though, like finale. What do you think is going to happen here? Who's making fire? Um,
Well,
I mean,
I guess this all depends on who wins the next immunity
yep.
because that's who picks who makes fire. And I mean, either Sam or Rachel are making fire against Teeny or Sue.
Yeah. And I
I mean,
think
that's probably what's going to happen. I don't see Teeny or Sue winning an immunity, but who knows?
Sue might. Sue's one. Like I
If
could
Sue
see
or
what.
Teeny win it, it'll be Rachel versus Sam.
Mm, yeah, you're right. You're right. How could Wait a second though. Do you think though? You think she would put Rachel to that? Or would she put Teeny and
If
because
she
she
wants to win, she will. But she's
true.
loyal, so maybe not. I mean,
Or Rachel's the strongest they've said at making fire. So maybe she would put her there because she knows she'll win. That'd be the argument anyway. I think it's going to be an
you,
interesting sorry, go ahead.
you got to get Sam or Rachel out of there.
Of course you do.
Because, I mean, Sue might have a chance against one of them, but both of them, I don't know, man. Unless there's a lot of bitter feelings, which there could be. A
I
lot of
think
people like Sue.
I think there are a lot of
Um,
bitter feelings. A lot of people like Sue and Teeny as people. Like they like them. They're personable. If we're talking any kind of strategy, in my personal opinion, Teeny has no shot.
no, she's
No,
done. I think teens. I don't think she's
she's
getting a
done
vote.
nothing.
I mean, I can see Sue getting votes just because of her age and she had that immunity and she
Loyalty.
talks to people and loyalty and stuff like that. But if it just depends on the how the jury looks at it. If they look at it strategy, I mean, Sue had some, but I mean, Sam and Rachel, they're probably the two best in the game.
They
I mean,
they
that's why
are
they're in the final four, right?
they are the
Have you? Does Sam ever make fire? I don't know if I've ever seen him make fire.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be also dependent on if Zamek makes it to the three, how good of a talker he is. But he's pretty good actually. He's a
No, he's
talker
good.
professionally. He's pretty good at
Yeah,
could
he knows
win
when
it.
to turn it on and turn it off.
Well, and he said a few episodes, I can't remember what episode, like he was talking and saying essentially like I just started telling the truth since I've been at the bottom for so long. So
Right.
he's very good at frank honesty, but he also knows when to lie. He knows when to like play it down or whatever. It's Ricky. So I don't know. If it's Rachel and Sam, I still think Rachel wins. I do. I think
The whole
Rachel's got
thing
the edge. Yeah. I think if
or the
Rachel and
fire.
Sam. I think
So if
both.
Rachel and Sam get to the end, yeah, yeah, it just
But
one of them are making it. I mean, I
yeah,
can't see Sam beating her in fire if it's those two, but I don't know if I've ever seen Sam make fire.
maybe he can. Like
Whether he has or hasn't, I don't know.
he's a bit of a dark horse, I find,
Yeah,
about a lot of
it's going to be
things.
an interesting end. If it's Sue, Rachel, Sam at the end,
Most interesting.
Rachel's probably got a bit of an edge, but it's still a bit of a coin toss. I'm just not sure the way
It
how the
depends.
jury's going to go, especially with Teeny taking things personal. And then, you know, I
Well,
think Saul might have taken things a little bit personal. When
yeah.
the last one that got voted out walked in, man, she looked mad.
But
Caroline, is it?
Caroline, I feel like they have them looking mad on purpose because if you recall, Kyle was pretty like kind and like gentlemanly when he got voted out, and then the very next episode, he came in looking mean and angry.
Maybe
So
they say go in stoic.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're told, especially the folks who were voted out last week, to go and look angry and mean. Because I mean, Caroline's pretty chipper, so it was odd to see her so angry. But remember, if Sue makes it, that's at least one vote for Sue. I think Caroline will vote for Sue. I think
Yeah.
Sue could get a couple votes thrown her way.
I think Teeny will probably vote for Sue.
Yeah, yeah, because I think Teeny's too sensitive. Like I think she's just too sensitive of a heart to like appreciate the strategy. But you never know. Maybe she'll turn around.
Kind of want her in the jury just to hear how mad she is.
I hope she. I don't know. For me, I'm like, I just hope she's not that mad. Like, I hope she kind of, I don't know. It's a game. Like, haven't you watched this game? I guess she's so young. She's
She's
23.
young.
That's
She
just
got
young.
screwed over so many times.
Yeah. Well,
She's
I,
not happy.
I'm gonna be tough. It's a life lesson, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, and that's why I think Sue has actually done well, like to credit Sue, it's just like, all right, that
She's able to
sucked.
shut her mouth.
She keeps her mouth shut. She doesn't run around. Like again, it's all more with the cameraman. So anyway, good episode. Do you have any final thoughts, or I think we covered it, really?
No, I'm excited for the final.
I know.
I wonder
Wednesday.
how long it is. Will it
Oh,
be two
geez.
hour and a jerk and a thing or
I know it's so fucking long. Oh my God. It's on a weeknight. Okay. But excellent episode. Well done. This is great Survivor. I'm actually excited I'm doing it this way because I'm really focusing on it. To everybody who's watching, thank you for watching. As we said at the start, go check out Nick on Nick's his evil twin brother, handsome Nick Hanlon, on Kayfabe Wrestling Talk. Like and subscribe. Go check out his drinking podcast, Dirty Glass Podcast. And of course, as always, like and subscribe. Please tell us what you think. Thank you all for watching. Check us out. Check out our finale recap. And then, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Like, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.